Hi, Facebook family. I wanted to go live just because I had some interesting thoughts and I saw a unique conversation in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. And so it's about the topic of the rapture. And so let's talk about it for a minute because Larry and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. So I was thinking, oh, that's so unique that, it's coming up online. So here's my really bold statement. I know a lot of you don't know me very well, but I'm very direct and to the point a lot of times. So I was telling Larry the other day and we were driving and I said, I worry honestly that church historians 200 years from now or 300 years from now will look back and say and think to themselves that one of the greatest lies perpetrated on the church during our time and then proliferated by it was the idea of the rapture. And the reason I say that is I grew up with it, right? I grew up with Left Behind and, all the books and the movies and Kirk Cameron and all that stuff. And, I just grew up around it and in it. And the idea of it, right? Of that people are just gonna disappear in the middle of the day. Airplanes are gonna go down and, babies are going to be gone and mothers will be left. And it's just, obviously with even just watching the movies, there's so many holes with the doctrine of the rapture. But whether you believe in rapture or you're post or mid-trib or, whatever all the tribs are, I think the thing that I have the most issues with it is that I feel like it prevents the church from moving forward. It prevents the church from innovating and being leaders, because as long as I can remember, people who believe in the rapture, they look at society and they think, oh, it's getting worse and worse. There's wars, there's rumors of wars, there's earthquakes, there's floods, and, it's just around the corner. It's going to happen in my lifetime or maybe in my children's lifetime. I remember when I first became a Christian and I was in high school and I was like, well, Lord, I really just want to drive a car and, I'd like to get married and I hope those things happen before I get raptured out of here. And it even creates a certain element of fear and anxiety. And so anyways, I'm trying to say is that the thing that the rapture in my mind does so much is that, and it's such a part of our psyche, I think as a church culture a lot of times, that if you think that all there is my lifetime or maybe my children's lifetime or maybe my grandkids, but then the Lord's got to come back after that, then why try and why innovate and why create modern day conveniences? It's like you look at Jeff Bezos and you're like, and Elon Musk and all of these innovators who are making their lives and millions of lives easier and better on this earth. And I think the reason that they do that is because this is all that they have. They don't believe that there's a hope that is beyond the grave, that one day to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, and that we'll be in heaven one day and celebrating, the marriage feast of the Lamb, and we'll all be there. But they don't have that hope. And so their goal, their mission in life is to make this life as good as they possibly can. And how do we bring clean water to other parts of the world? How do we take care of the world? Because this is all we've got, and I want to leave something for my kids and my grandkids. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is what you believe about your future determines what you're going to do today and what you're going to build for legacy's sake. And so anyways, I worry about the rapture, and I don't necessarily need to have an opinion of when I think the Lord's returning. But what I do think is if you look historically at culture, that we are actually getting better and better. You think about it as women, right? Or as minorities of the day and the age that we live, especially in Western culture, this is as good as it's ever been. You think about medical technology and the length of life being extended and the modern conveniences that we have. It's unending and how much better it is actually getting. And so if I look back, nobody's dying of plagues anymore. We got rid of polio. We have vaccines and things like that really, my daughter will never have chicken pox, right? I had chicken pox. She's never gonna have chicken pox because she got a vaccine for it. So anyways, I think things are getting better. I think if you look back at the historical record, we haven't had major war in a number of decades. We're at a unique time of peace globally. Not that things aren't wrong and not that things aren't bad or there isn't evil still in the world, but I mean, if you were to measure it, it's amazing, especially just America and freedom and the experiment that America is, and what a blessing it is to be in this country and to have what we do have. That and I know it's not that way everywhere, but the goal is the church is supposed to be the hands and the feet of Jesus, downloading divine solutions from heaven, right? Like, we are supposed to be the problem solvers in the earth. But I guess I look at things like the rapture, and not necessarily that that's the only cause there is, but that idea of, instead of engaging and instead of moving forward and tearing down strongholds and trying to go to the high places on the mountain and become influencers, right? Instead of doing all that, there is this subtle idea that it's like, oh Lord, I just hope you come back so we can get out of here. And I don't want that. I don't want that for my life. I don't want that for my daughter's life. We could have another hundreds of years ahead of us. And that's what I'm saying. I wonder what will be said of the church in the 20th and the 21st century, of, were we just bloated and self-focused, and, what's church going to do for me, versus us engaging and going forward and fixing the world's problems. There are plans in heaven that I think if Christians would just look up and own the problem, right? Own whatever problem's right in front of you. Ask the Lord for the divine solution, and then move forward, and then steward the process, of solving the problem. That the world might look really different. So anyways, that's just my take on the rapture. Like I said, I was reading a thread in there and it looked very, it was like somebody was saying that the Lord's coming back on, 2024. And, it's just kind of like, we can't know that. I mean, nobody knows the day or the hour. So anyways, those are my thoughts. But let me know what you think. I'm sure it's going to be really interesting in the comments. Nothing like talking about the rapture to make things interesting. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.